Hello all. So we are going to start in the next 5 minutes. So let's So hello all. So thank you for being here, and we'll start now. We'll start now. I hope you're all able to see me. Okay, you're not able to see me. Okay, so we'll start now. And we started only yesterday. Only we completed with the class-based component, and today we are going to start with hooks. As I told, class-based component are very important to learn hooks. You'll see today why it is very important to learn hooks. Hooks are the thing. If you go to a startup today, there are 90% chance, 90 not 95% chance they are going to work in hooks. But if you go to a service company or something and they have old project, they are going to work it in class-based component. And hooks are very important, and they are very easy. They made the React very easy, means ultra easy, because they've got rid of the this keyword and all those things. So all those theoretical things are there. This keyword they got rid of, which was a bit complicated, and lifecycle methods are also much more easier. So let's get started now, and let me share my screen again. And so what I have just done, I've just created a new project, okay, like this, and click create reactive, and then I have CD to it. Then let me open, it's a new project because we are going to do new thing. Okay, so hope you all got my yesterday's code, and as always attendance will be given at the end. Okay, so let me make it like a bit big. Okay, one sec, and then I will do a npm start to start the project. So yeah, so it is starting here only. That's a good thing. Okay, so famous React logo is there. Now, as we are told, we are going to start with hooks. Not much theory, but one thing I want to tell again. Okay, so again, okay. Yes, Suraj, this all videos are recorded, means, and they will be put, means everything is recorded, and I don't delete them, so you'll get them, all of them you'll get. Okay, all of these things will be always there. Okay. Yes, this all will be there. Okay, so it is there, all of them are there, and yeah, so as I told, so let's get started with hooks. So hooks also I'm going to teach, I teach in this way. Okay, so I'm going to we have already learned about class-based component, so we are going to create a class-based component. After that we are going to convert it into a hook-based component. So that is how we are going to do. So in the src I will create a new folder known as components. Is there components? I'll do, and then here I'll do a class counter.js, counter.js, and open this app.js also. Increases is the font size okay? I don't think so. Let me increase it a bit bigger. Okay, now it is okay. So class counter. So this is a class counter. Okay, again we are going to create a class-based component, and then we are going to convert it to a hook-based component. So this I have done. And with hooks, what happened? The concept of state and lifecycle methods are being implemented in your functional component, which were not there earlier. So okay, class counter have done. Now render is okay. Now what I'm going to do, it's a simple counter program. Our const is there, and this will be count is like 0. Okay. Okay. So like this is there, and render, in this render here only I'll do it. I'll create a button, and in this button I'll show the count is this dot state dot count. This dot state dot count will be there, and we've seen all these things earlier also. And here directly let me do that directly. On click equal to like this, and this dot set state, and count is this dot state dot count plus 1. Like this it will be there. Okay, so like this it will be there. save it, and now I will show this in the app.js. So I'll come here, and here I'll remove all these things. Class counter, save it. So this counter will be shown, and I can, okay, let me have some space here. I can increase the count value like this. Okay, so this is the count is there. So now we are going to convert this into a hook. So how hook means we're going to introduce state in hook functional component, which was not there earlier. So let us do that, and for that I will have a new component, hook counter .js, and in this RAFCE will be there. Then, so how did we implemented state in hook functional component? So React team has created a lot of hooks. So one of the hooks is known as use state hooks. There are two main important hooks. One is the use state hook, one is the use effect hook. So, okay, so we are going to look into this. Okay. Okay, so this use state hook first. Okay, so what is there? Const count set count is pretty. I don't like it like this. Okay, you can do it like this, no issue. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to import it. So what I just did actually, count and set count equal to use state of 0. Actually, okay, what I did there, I created a count variable, count state variable, and this what I'm doing, I'm using array D structuring. This count variable is equal to 0. So this is exactly this thing I have written. Count is 0, count is 0, initial value is 0. But there are 2-3 differences, and these differences are very big. One is that here what is happening, this is a object, this dot state is an object, here it is not an object, so that causes a bit of problem, and we're going to see what problem it causes. We're going to see that. Okay, so the thing is that, okay, so this is like this, count is 0. So then what is the set count? Set count is the equivalent of set state. So in hooks what happens, this set state is not there. Okay, but we have different set state. Means if I have 10 state variables, we generally have state variables like this. Okay, we have something like another name I will take, but then it will be like a different name, like this will, maybe this will be num, maybe this will num, and this will be set num. So it will be like this, it will be like this in a hook based thing. We don't have something like a set state. The set state replacement is this individual set states. They are individual set state. Okay, and we do this array destructuring here. So this is how we do the hooks. Now how to increment it? Okay, I can show this like this will be, again I will do a button, and let me make it a hook count, and we don't have the concept of this or all these things, but it's a state variable. And one more thing is that this return is treated like a render. The moment we do change the state through set state, or here the set count or anything else, it will re-render this return. So that concept is still there. Okay, so hook count I have done like this, and then I will make it on click equal to like this, and set count is count plus 1. Save it, and let me show it below it only, hook counter, save it. So hook counter is there, and it will also increase. Well, so let us do one thing. Let us once more. I think I'm a very bit bigger. Okay, so see, this is okay, not this one. This is the difference. This is the difference between both of them. Okay, so this is how I do the count. Count is 0 and all. So this is how I do it. Count is 0. This is how I do. And then this dot set state, instead of this dot set state, and then inside that I have to do the count is equal to count plus 1. We are doing this thing because this is an object, and this is not an object or something else. So we can directly do this thing. Okay, so let me do it a bit more smaller. Okay, so we can directly do this thing here. Okay, so that is the thing here, and it works like this. So that is there. Now we are going to look into some more things here. Okay, in this class base. So with this use state also, there are 2-3 other things which I want to tell before moving to use effect. So that those are very important to tell. Okay, so there are some special use cases also, and then there is like use state with previous state is also there. We are going to look into that also. So for that, let us make another counter here first. Hook hook counter to .js and RAFCE I'll do here, and const initial count equal to 0. Just I've taken an initial count equal to 0, and then okay, const count and set count is like use state initial count, and this use state I am going to add it. So like you have to import it. Use state is a hook. So I'm just doing this in count, and now what I'm going to do here, I'll show 3 buttons actually here. One is this h2 count is count. Then button I will have, and it will be reset will be there, and here on click equal to set count is initial count. So initial count. So I will have 3 buttons. One is reset, one is increment and increment, and it will be count plus 1 and count minus 1 will be D3 and will be there, and button will be there. Okay, so this is there, and so after this, let us show this hook counter 2 only. Remove this class counter, save it. So this hook counter to have all these things. So increment is working fine, decrement is working fine, reset is working fine. So this is just a small thing. So now what we want to see, if we do some increment at a very fast rate. So there is something which happens in React if it is there like that. Okay, so I will have another button here, and it will be increment 5, and it will be like on click equal to increment 5 like this, and I will call increment 5 function now. So here I have this const increment 5 equal to arrow function and all, and actually I will call this here this set count 5 times from the for loop. From the for loop, I will call it 5 because I equal to 0 is less than 5. I'll call it 5 times the set count. So let us see what happens here. I'll do this. Increment 5 is there, so this all are working fine. This all are working fine. But if I do increment 5, see 1 is increment. Only 1 is incrementing. This happens because React does some performance optimization. Okay, this happens in class based also. It does something known as performance optimization, and when it does something like this is a very special case. What we do, we have to use the previous count or previous state in those things. Okay, so we cannot use it like this. We have to use something like priv count, like it's priv count plus 1. So priv count plus 1 is there, and save it. Now you will see it will increase 5. So previous count will do. This is only a special case when we are updating some state at a very frequent pace. Okay, so this will happen at that time. Okay, so that is there, and if you are using it here, it's better to use it here also. To have the consistency, save it, and so now it will do, and decrement is doing, increment is also doing, and reset is there. So this is how it is working. This is working fine. So now the next thing which I want to show is the Okay, there is some problem when we use the use state with object. Okay, not a problem, but a thing which we all should know, because most of the time, as I'm telling, in nowadays, if you're going to do a React.js job, then 95% chances that you're going to work in hooks only. And 5% chances that you're going to work in class-based component. And when people works in hooks, they don't want to go back. Okay, so that is there. And so let us see, there is a problem with hook. Okay, so with use state in hooks. Okay, so let us see that, and that is not then the class base. I have to open this also because I want to show something. Okay, so it is like hook counter 3.js, and here RAFCE I will do, and counter 3 is there. Then okay, this time I will have a, we are seeing the problem when use state is an object. Use state till now was a number like that, 0 and all. Okay, now we'll see if it is an object. So then what will happen? Const name comma set name equal to use state, and I will have an object here like first name and the last name. I'll have an object here. Okay, so then after this I will come here and use a use state like this. Okay, so see, I'm having an object here. In class base, what happened, it's always is an object, always it's an object. But here it is not required that I will take an object, means in the hook count example it was a number and all. Okay, so it is like that, it can be anything. So I've taken it as it's an object. Now let us do something like let's have a form here. Form here is there, then and input type text is there. So normal way only. Value is, so this is our control component artwork, and we're going to use this control component here. Okay, so name dot, we have already learned how to do this thing. Name dot first name, and on change is equal to e set name is like first name is e dot target dot value. E dot target dot value will be the first name. Okay, first name is like this, set name is like this, and let me have the first name and last name. Last name is e dot target dot value. Okay, so then I have h2 first name is like name dot first name, and h2 last name equal to name dot last name like this, and have. So now let us have this hook counter 3, hook counter 3, hook counter 3, save it, and this first name and last name is there. So now let us add something here. Okay, so I'll add a Bindu, and I will add this one. So the moment I add this, see this Bindu is going. So if it, so there is some issue here. Okay, there is some issue here. If I add something, this is going. So what is the issue? So to exactly understand what is the issue, we are going to work on one thing. Okay, so in React, what happens if you want to see some console.log, something like that inside the return statement, you cannot see that thing, because it's what has been rendered here in this browser. It is what has been rendered here, so you cannot see that thing. So how to see that thing? If I want to see some output, how to see that? We have to do a stringify of thing. We have to make it a string, then we can see. So I will come here and I will do h2 and JSON dot stringify, and name I will do JSON dot stringify. Done. Now save it. So see, it is coming like this. Okay, so let me again refresh it, and let me again do it. Nabendu. See, I've again done Nabendu. So first name is coming. The moment I do this, first name itself is gone and the last name is coming. So why this thing is been done? This thing is actually happens because in hooks, it doesn't directly, this object is there. So when I change this object, it doesn't directly merge the earlier part which was there in the object. In this thing, what it happens in this normal class thing, this is by default object. You do something like that here, it will automatically merge it. So it is not merging. So to solve this issue, it's not a very big issue, but you should remember this thing. If we have something like this, we have to use the spread operator, which I have taught in ES6 in the previous week, so in JavaScript week. So I have to do a dot name like this, comma, and then dot name like this here, like this. I'll do save it. Now it will be there, and now let me refresh it. Now we will come back here, and now let me do it. Now then do. See, if I do this thing, then also the last name is there. Now then also it is there. So when I'm changing this thing, this is dot operator, but is taking whatever the earlier state was there, it is merging it there. So this is how this merging is done. So this is very important when you're going to do something like this. So now we'll see one more example. Like the same problem happens when we take a object. When you take an object, you state as a not object, you state as an array. So we're taking seen as a object, but we know the same problem is in array also. But one thing is great in Hook, that you can take a lot of things. You can take an object, you can take a number, you can take a string. But here it is always an object. Actually, inside you might have something else also. You can take a lot of things, but outside it's an object. So this is the main thing. So that is there. So now we are going to check what happens. Means we know what happens. You state with array. Here also we have to do a dot because I again not going to show the same error. So let us do that now. Okay, so I'll come here, and here I'll do a hook counter 4.js and FCE hook counter 4. Okay. And then let's have a const items, comma, set items is equal to use state of this empty array is there. Then you have this like this, new state, and then const add item equal to like this. And so what we're going to do, we are going to have one button called here. Let me come. I'm going to have a button as add a number. I'm going to have, and here on click equal to add item. This function we are going to call, and then I'm going to have a set items like this, and so what I'm going to do here, set items dot items. We know that we have to do this. So and then what I'm doing here in this array, I'm adding an object everything. So dot item is whatever is there earlier, and ID I'm making as item dot length. So the first time when it will come, item dot length is actually 0. So always we know that we need something unique in the ID. So item is 0. Then the value, and I'm taking any random thing, value I'm taking any random. So next time if I click the next time also, after this I will click on next time. So again that item will be done, but already one item is there. So item dot length will be 1, and it will add to it. We can console.log and check this thing. Okay, console.log. We can do a console.log before the return. So that is one thing. Console.log before the return works very fine. And no, this is like this. I want to see the items. Save it. Counter 4, save it. Now add a number. I'm not showing it right now, so I have to go to this console. See, initially the array of 0 has been done because React is very fast. Okay, so now I do add a number. See, this thing is array of object has been done. ID 0 and value type. So any random number it is taking between 0 to 1, I think. So 0. Then the next time, 2 array of objects have been added. One is 0 and 1 is values 5, 1 is 7. So That's why the length, item.length was 1. So 1 was added. So like this, if I do anything like this, 3, 4, 5, 6, it will be working like this. So now how to show this thing, because I don't want to show it in the console. So how to show that thing? So I will come here and do a UL on our list, and I'll do a items.map. This item is there, and just we are going to show this thing, and we're going to show this thing in a li is item.id and item.value. I'll save it. So it is showing me some error compiled with problem. Okay, got it. So this is missing. Sometimes some brackets get missing. Okay, so this is all showing because there were already some number, so it is all showing like this, and it is all perfect. So this is the use array with your state. So this is done. Now we are going to look into the next thing, which is the use effect. Okay, so we are going to look at the use effect. So there are two main important ones. One is the use state, one is the use effect. Okay, so this use effect is there, and what happens in this use effect? So use effect is the lifecycle method. So as I've told, there are two things which was missing in the functional component. One is the state thing, and state thing we have done with use state, and there was another thing which was missing, which is the lifecycle method, which we have learned in the previous class. Okay, lifecycle method was also missing. So lifecycle methods, what happened? Lifecycle method was replaced by only one single loop. So there are many lifecycle methods, but I told earlier also that only 3 lifecycle methods are important. One is component did mount, one is component did update, did mount and did update, and one is component will unmount, which we have not seen but we'll see now. So what React team has done, only took those 3 methods and put it in the hooks, because the other method which I have shown, execute component update, all those things are not used, not at all used. Okay, not at all used in the production. I have never used that in production in my 10 years as a front-end developer, and so I have never used that thing. Okay, so let us now understand again. So understanding the lifecycle method is very important to understand with the class-based approach. Means that's why it is very important. I told earlier also. So now I'm going to go here, and I want to create a class counter, and with that we are going to see this component did mount and all those things, and then we are going to convert it into use effect hook. Okay, use effect. Okay, and React generally there are only two most important of this use effect and this one. Okay, so these two are the most important one. And now we go to class counter one dot class counter one .js. Yeah, class counter one .js, and cc is there. And this export default class counter one, and this is there. And after this I'll have a r const is like we're going to, you will find that we're going to, we are doing something like earlier only, but we are going to add one very cool logic in it. Okay, so this count is there, and then we have this button here, and this I have this click this dot state dot count times is there, and then on click is equal to like this, and this dot set state is count is this dot state dot count plus 1. Okay, so like this, just this is something which I had done earlier also. Okay, so but we're going to do one more thing here. Okay, so that is there. So this I've done, and now again let me take this class count here. Okay, class count I'll take here, class count will take it, class count will take it, save it, and it will again do the same thing. But now, and it is updating it, class counter one. But what I want to update this React app. So you're seeing this React app. So this React app also I want to update. So means I want to update a title. So how to do that? So first thing is that I cannot do it like this in the constructor and all, because the title is something which come from the DOM. So it should only be done when all the DOM elements are loaded. When all the DOM elements are loaded, it should be done at that time. So I'll do here component did mount is like this, and then document dot title equal to select this dot set dot count times, okay, and then component did update. It will take your priv props and priv state like this. And okay, so why I'm doing this thing component, okay, let me only do this with component did mount, and then I will do this component did document dot title and click 0 times. So click 0 times, see it is showing this click 0 times, it is showing it here. But suppose if I update it, it will not show. Why it is not showing? Because component did mount only runs during the initial render, as I told earlier. During the changes, means when we change it through the state, it doesn't runs. Component did mount and constructor, they doesn't run at this time. Okay, they will only run when this is a static, the mounting phase. Updating phase they don't run. So this is the mounting phase right now. I'm doing this is updating phase, because the set state is been run, so re-render is been done. So component did mount didn't run this time, and I'm not this is not getting increased. So in that case, you have to use the component did update it, because it always run in the re-render phases. So this re-render phase it will run. So I'll do this Control C and Control V, and like this, save it. I'll do now. I'll do this click 0 times 1. See this. First time it ran with the component did update, okay, and the second time, okay, like this. After that, every time it is running with component did update. So it is like that. Component did update it is running. Okay, so now this is there. Now we are going to convert it into a hook. Now we're going to convert it into hook. So how to convert it into a hook? Okay, so let us do that, and let us go here and here, and I will do a hook counter 1.js and to convert it in a hook, and we are going to use the use effect hook now. Okay, so RAFCE, because it's a functional component, and the first thing is that to change it. Let me split this screen and let me make it complete right now. Okay, so that we can see both of them. So we are going to change it now. Okay, so first thing is that this state is there, this is state, all these things are there. So how to do that? And we have already seen, we have to create a state first. So I'll do a const count comma set count equal to use state of 0, use state of 0. So use state of 0 is 1, and count and set count. Then we will have this this first, let us have this thing, then we are going to see how to do this thing. And then because we've done this thing earlier also, but let's do it again. So button and on click is equal to like this, and set count is count plus 1. So this is something which we have seen earlier, and this is not a hook count. This will be click count times click count times. So this is something which we have done earlier also. But now what I wanted to do, and let me also have this hook counter here in this app.js. I'll have this hook counter, have this hook counter, and have this hook counter. And now if I do this thing, okay, if I come one sec here, if I refresh it, so this is still the React app. This is working fine, but I have to use this also. So now how to do that thing? How to do that thing? So there is no component did mount, component did update in a hook. So what they have done, what React people have done, they created one hook known as a use effect hook, which you can use in different configuration. Different configurations are there to use the use effect hook. And in those configurations, what happens here, that it gets used in a different ways. Component did mount, component did update, those way. So let us use the use effect hook now in its most basic format. Okay, use effect hook, again it will be taken. Then I'll do this like this, and then like this, it will be there, this, and document dot title, click 0 times. I've done this thing. Okay. And this is actually a replacement. This whole code is a replacement of these two things: component did mount plus component did add. This use effect hook is used in different configuration, which we are going to see right now. I think around 4 configurations is going to use. We're going to use it, and in this configuration, what happens? It runs as a combination of component did mount and component did update. Means during the initial render, also it will run the mounting phase, and the updating phase also it will run. Okay, so close it and let me make it a bit smaller now. And now see the mounting phase, it has been run, so that's why it is showing this click 0 time, and do it and it will increase also. So this is how the most basic way it is done. So now, as I told you, use effective hook is used in all the different ways. So it is first we are going to see the class based thing, because we have just seen how the it is replacing the component did mount and component did update. So now the next thing which we are going to do is we are going to see the conditional use effect. Okay, conditional use effect we are going to see what happens. Sometimes you don't want the component to render. Okay, and component to render or some component did update to run again and again. So we're going to see again the way it is done. So what we are going to do, we are going to, let's create a new class, class counter one, let it be there. I'll create a new class counter 2.js. I'll do RAFCE. I'll do then. Actually, I'll come here and this all let me copy, because everything will be like this only. Only there will, okay, what is the error? Sometimes these things happen. Okay, I think I missed some brackets and all. Constructor is there. Till here I have to take. Okay, I got it. Sorry. This should be RCC. Okay. Because it's not a hook, so I always forget this thing. Export default. It's a class based, not a hook based. Okay, so this class counter 2, I have this thing. Now what I'm going to have, I'm going to have another variable, another state variable like name. Name I'm going to have like this. Okay, name I'm going to have. Now let me have a console log here. That is for a reason. CLT console log for a reason, and it is updating document title. Updating document title is there. So that is there, and is now beside this button I'll have an input type also, which is updating this name. Okay, so we have two state variables here. So that is there. Now I will come here and make it in the top, and like this I'll have a input. And please do subscribe and like this video if you are not done yet. Please do subscribe to help this channel to grow, to reach more people, and to have me help more people to become a successful web app developer, because that is my goal. I have already created a lot of web app developer through my YouTube channel only. A lot of them have become, a lot of mechanical engineers have become ReactJS developer, and that gives me immense pride. Okay, to tell that. Okay, so that is that. Please do subscribe and tell it to your friends, tell it in your colleges that there is a guy who is doing this long trainings to make everyone a web app developer. So value equal to, I even talked to people for the career guidance today also. Only I was talking to someone. Okay, so this is the input type text I've done, and this dot state dot name is there, and then here on change is there, is equal to e, and this dot set state name is e dot target dot value is there. So I have two things like this input text, and both of these things I have. So let me save it, and let us have these things. Let us have this thing here. Okay, I'll have this here. see, I have now both of these things. Okay, both of these things I have. But I want to tell one thing. So I will go to this console, and I am going to click this thing. Okay, click this thing. So updating document title is coming, which is right because the document title is updating. Document title is updating. So this console log is coming. But when I write something here, then also updating document title is coming. But actually the document title is not updating. This should not come. For a small project, it is not an issue. But for a big project, it's a very big performance thing. It's a very big performance thing. So in those cases, what we need to do, we need it to be not run again and again. In bigger project, when it's the project that more than 1 lakh lines of code, this is a very big issue. This is literally a very big issue. So let us try to solve this issue. So how to do it in a class base? First, we're going to see how to solve it in a class base. So class base, what happens? I will come here and I'll do if we have access to this previous state. Of previous state, we will do if prev state dot count is not equal to this dot state dot count. I'll explain what it is. So at that moment you run this. If previous state dot count is not equal to this dot state dot count, then you need to do this. Okay, console.log updating document title I have done. Okay, and so this is there. Okay, so what is happening here? Previous state dot count. So previous state is something which gets hold of the previous state. So previous state, suppose this is right now 11. Okay, let us come back here and let us see whether it is working or not. Okay, first let us see whether it is working or not, how it is working. So I'm clicking it here, so it is like it is increasing. So now what is happening? The suppose this two have clicked, so the previous state will be 1. 1 is not equal to 2. Okay, so that's why it will go inside. That's why it will go inside and it will do this updating document title. But when I do this nabe, see now updating document title is not coming. When I have written document and it is not increasing, also it is not increasing. This is not increasing. Why it is not increasing? Because I'm not updating the count. So the previous count and the current state count will be same only. Previous count and current state count will be same. That's why this will not run. So this is the way we do conditional render here. So that is there. Now the next thing is that how to do it in hooks. So let us do that in hooks, and the same thing will hooks. And we are going to use a new way to use the use effect. Okay, so where was the hook counter 4? Actually, yeah, not hook counter 4. What was that? Not hook counter. What was the name? I forgot. Okay, let me do it from my start. So hook counter 5.js is there. RAFCE. Then here we'll going to show it like this, like two variables we'll have. So here I'll have a const count comma set count. It's like used it. We can use it like this, but you should never use it like this. Nobody uses like this. Okay, so like this I will do. What is happening? Is important, and we'll have another variable const name comma set name equal to this empty thing. Now we'll have both of these things first here. Okay, like this input type text value equal to name, and on change equal to e, and set name is e dot target dot value, e dot target dot value, and then the other will be button is like click count times on click equal to set count is count plus 1. So that is there. So click count times is like this. Now we will have we have both of these things, and we want to mimic these things that like should not come. So first thing is that I will come here and do the use effect here, because we have to use this use effect, and use effect is done. Then I'm going to have this and console dot log of use effect updating document title, this, and document dot title, click 0 times. So I have this thing, and now again let's come here, and here I'll do this thing, save it, and again I have the same thing, and okay, let me do it again, refresh it. So use effect updating document title is coming, and I'm going to click it. So it is doing that, but I'm going to do this thing, and then also it will come. It is running on everything, means every time a state is getting updated, it is running. So I would do something like this, but we don't have such complicated things here. Very easy thing here. So use effect is used in different configurations actually. So one of this configuration is like this. I'll come here, and it takes a second parameter. Which is like the array, and here I have to give a count. So what does that mean? What does this count means? Let me refresh it. What does count means? That this use effect will run initially. So component did mount will always run, but initially it will run. But from the next time, it will only run if this count is updated. If the name is updated, it will not run. So in bigger production project, what happens? We have actually 10-15 states in one project. So what happens? We give by comma. Okay, and that is there. And now I will come here, and I will click it. So it will increase, but I will do a again do. So see, it is not doing now. So this is how it is done. This is how this cleaning thing is done. So this is there, and now what we are going to do? We are going to look into another thing, which is the use effect only once. Use effect only once. We are going to see, and okay, so use effect only once, and we are now going to see a different example. We have seen enough of this counter example. So let us see a different example. I can show it in the counter also. So as I've told, use effect is a very big thing. It is been used. We already seen 2 use cases of it. We are going to see another 3 use cases of it. Maybe 1 only today and 2 next day. So let us see those. Okay. So now I'll create something known as a class mouse.js, and again it will be class based first. So RCC export default, and class mouse will be there. Then here I'll come, and our const is there, and x is like 0 comma y is like 0. This. Then I have this like this, and then let me have it in h2. X is like this dot state dot x, and y is like this dot state dot y. I have to x and y thing is there, and then there is a way by which we can get hold of the x and y coordinate in a class based component actually. Okay, so we'll have this, and component did count I will have like this, and then here we have something known as window dot add event listener. We can add an event listener in your React based component also. Add event listener, and move mouse move is this dot handle mouse move. Whenever component did mount only runs once. So we want to do something in the component did mount. So that it only runs once. So component did mount I'm doing, so it will run only once. And Windows dot add event listener move mouse is there. Okay. So now I will come here and then this handle move mouse I'll do. So I'm creating an event listener, and I don't want to create multiple event listener. That's why I'm using it in component mount. So now this is there, and then it's equal to E, and like this, and this dot set state like X is okay. So this is client X and client Y. There are two things. So client X and client Y. By this we can get the access to the X and Y. So I'll save it, and then this class mouse I will show it here. Class mouse, class mouse, class mouse. Show it here. So X and Y are coming, and see, it is updating fine. It is updating fine, and it is doing it work. So like, can we have a component did mount in a hook? Yes, we can have in a different configuration. We have to use it. So I'll come here and I'll do a hook mouse dot js, and again RAFCE I'll do. Attendance I'll give in another 5 minutes. So hook mouse is there. Then here const x comma set x equal to use state 0 and y comma set y like this, h2 hook x is x, y is y like this, and then we have to call this component windows.add event listener from our use effect. Okay, so from a use effect we have to call it. So I will have it use effect like this, and let have a console log whose hook use effect is there, and don't have it like this. Have to use effect updating not hook use effect called. Okay, then window dot add event listener, and mouse move handle mouse move again. So this handle mouse move, let us have this handle mouse move, then it is like const handle mouse move equal to E like this, and then set x is equal to E dot client x, and set y is equal to like this. So we have set x and set y is the same thing which we are doing here. I'm doing it here also. So this is there. So but this way it will run in a component did mount plus component did update way, because if I don't give anything here, it will run in that way, and that is a very bad thing, because the add event listener will be added again and again and again and 100 times, 1010 times, because even if I move a bit it would be added. So what I need to do here, I would need to do another configuration, which is the empty array. So empty array means what? Empty array means it will run in the component did mount way. Component did update will not run. I have called this use effect called for one reason here. So this hook mouse I have done, and then I'll come here, and then I will have it here hook mouse, and hook mouse I'll save. See now hook mouse is there, and use effect called is been done. So now, okay, so it is updating. There is a memory leak which we have to fix actually. So but a use effort is called only once, means it is running in the component did mount way. There's a memory leak it is showing, because when if you do a windows.add event listener, you should always do a remove event listener also. So that is one of the reason it is showing. Okay, so that is there. So we give the attendance form. Okay, so mark your attendance here. So actually, the rest of the things I think we'll do it tomorrow. Means there's a use effect. There are two other use effects which are also remaining. One is use effect with cleanup, and one is use effect with the API call. So API call is very important to the API call, because as we've been seen in a class-based component, we used to do API call with component did mount, because that is the only place where what happens when the component is mounted. Component did mount, and see, we have already seen the way to do a component did mount. So it means, because API calls are generally done only once. Okay, so we are going to do it here. Component did in this only we are going to do. Okay, so these things which are remaining, this is very important. After that, there is something more are remaining, and use context hook and all those things are remaining. So it will take another one class to complete it, and we'll actually do it tomorrow, and we'll meet tomorrow. And hope you all have subscribed. If you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe and like this video so that it can reach more of you people. Please do tell it in your colleges. If you are from some colleges, if you have some other background, tell it in your thing. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm very big there. Connect with me there and all those things. And we'll see, we'll meet tomorrow for the last day. And those are filling the attendance form, they will get their certificate on Saturday evening. By Saturday evening they will get. Okay, so that is there. Tomorrow is the last day. Please do come, and we'll complete. I will close it now. Yeah, thank you.